jewelry, but more about the fashion trends. In the future where you can find this information so that as you're sharing at your shows, you have information that, you know, obviously trends change every season. I generally group the seasons for me, spring and summer together and fall and winter together, and just so that I'm not looking at new fashion trends for seasons, just twice a year, and it makes it a lot easier. Premier kind of does that for us as well because new jewelry comes out in January and new jewelry comes out in July, so it makes it a little bit easier for us. Okay, so since you're a jeweler, everyone expects you to be an expert in jewelry and fashion. To give the impression that you're an expert, you need to do one of three things: be knowledgeable about the jewelry, be comfortable with handling the jewelry and showing the jewelry, and then be a resource with the current fashion trends. If you can master those three things, then you will appear as a jewelry and fashion expert, which we are called jewelers, so that's what we want to do. You don't have to be, it's not like you need to get a degree in this, you just need to know some basic things, and it will make you sound very intelligent. I know I've told this story before. When I first met Anna at a show, she was using these jewelry words like hematite, and I was like, what is that? But she sounded knowledgeable. It's a very basic term in our lingo, but it made me respect what she was saying and listen to her because I knew she must know what she's talking about. Anyways, if you can appear as a jewelry and fashion expert, you're going to increase your credibility in the amount of retail that you sell. If you come across as knowledgeable and you say it confidently, people are going to believe you, and that generally means they're going to listen to what you're saying and they're going to buy what you're telling them to buy. Okay, so first of all, to be knowledgeable about the jewelry, my number one resource for that is ABCs of Jewelry. If you're one of my girls, you should have this anyways. It's $1.50 on the service store. It goes through all the basics about the jewelry and how it's made, the different terms, the different types of chains, the different types of closures, the different types of earrings. You need this. Like, this is, there's nothing else I could tell you. This is your dictionary, your Bible for the jewelry. This is all you really need to resource for that. Number two, to be comfortable with handling the jewelry and showing the jewelry, you need to practice. My mom would always say, practice makes progress. To practice, you need a plan. Here's some tips on how to create a plan in a jewelry show list. Number one, learn from others. That's what training is for. If you can't make it to training or you need some additional ideas, watch other jewelers' film shows or jewelry videos on YouTube. Nancy Hanrahan or Nancy Durrell, you've probably heard me refer to her before. She's probably my top person that I refer to on the jewelry, apart from Julie David. She puts out a new jewelry video every other month. So she puts ones out in January, March, May, or no, I guess just, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, she recently put one out, so it doesn't even quite make sense. But she does it every other month, and she shows what she's currently showing in her shows for the next 2 months. But she throws in a bunch of jewelry tips in there, and fashion tips, and that's what I usually glean from it, because every time I've watched her video, I've never had everything she owns. Like, she has different pieces than I have, because her and I have different personalities, so we gravitate toward different pieces. But her tips about fashion, I can apply no matter what piece I have. Her little tricks, I usually can apply to a piece I own as well. Same with Julie David. I don't ever have everything that she shows, but I take those things and apply it to what I have into my fashion personality. Learn some basic jewelry techniques and concepts. Obviously, Julie David's 5 Jewelry Concepts is a great video to watch. If you need an idea of jewelry now, if you want to know what that is, feel free to email me and I can send that to you. Make sure you're wearing your jewelry every day. If you're wearing your jewelry every day, you're getting comfortable with it. You're getting comfortable with the different ways to wear it. You're learning how it feels, if it feels heavy, if it, you know those pieces of jewelry that kind of swing back and forth, that kind of thing. That's something that makes you knowledgeable, and then you can tell your customers that if they ask that question, is this a heavy piece of jewelry? How do you feel when you wear it? That's why you want to wear your jewelry. Write note cards and organize your trays for your demonstration. The table over there is my new jewelry table. I used to, if you've been to my shows before, I would take most everything I have, which I have a lot of jewelry, and it took too long to set up, it was too heavy to carry, it was overwhelming for people looking at it, and it was just kind of chaotic. So this past week, I sat down it took me about 2 hours. I went through my jewelry, I picked out what I knew was popular and what were my favorite pieces to show. And then I just put them on my jewelry trays, and I leave those pieces in that tray, and I just slide those couple trays in my bag. My bag's about half the weight now, and it takes me like 10 minutes to set it up because everything's in the right tray. The other benefit of that is that, actually I'll come back to that in a minute, I'll talk about that later. In demonstration fun. Make sure that when you're showing it, it's actually fun, it's not boring. Mandy Goes Cruising, that's a popular one I do in the summer. If you want that, please email me. And what's your fashion personality? I'm going to talk a little bit about that tonight as well. Okay, and then the main thing we're going to focus on, the third one, to be a resource of the current fashion trends, you need to learn a handful of simple fashion rules, tips that never go out of style, and use them over and over again. So if you have your phone and you can look in your email, I'm just going to refer to a couple of these documents that I emailed everyone.
Did you email it to me or just me?
Oh, you're not on her this week. Yeah.
Oh, I'm recording it to you right now.
Thank you. I need to be reminded of that frequently.
I know. She probably won't remember if she's here.
Okay, hold on just a minute.
What's your email again?
Okay, so one of the documents I sent you was this one, of course. So you have these notes. The next one that I sent you it's called Everyday Fashion Tips. And these are just some basic tips. Do not think, I sent you several documents. That doesn't mean that you need to read all of them, memorize all of them, and use all of them in your show. Your show's going to be 5 hours long then, okay? That's a problem. Go through them, read them, pick your favorites. Just pick, every one of us, we all have different personalities, so all of us are going to pick different pieces that we like. But the Everyday Fashion Tips, it talks about how do you shop for yourself as a woman. That's something great that people want to know. How do you make yourself look 10 pounds thinner? What's the most common one I tell at every show? Wearing a long necklace. But there's other tips you can do as well. The different types of necklines, like your shirts. The different types of necklines, how it's flattering for different women, depending on your body size, if you're, pear shape or hourglass or all those different things. The different necklines and how they, and if you have a larger bust or a smaller bust, the different necklines that look good on you. And how to control your budget wardrobe in your closet. Those are great tips people always want to know. How do you save money? Well, there's some tips in there that will definitely be helpful to you. The next document, the tips on how to dress, accessorize, and manage your closet. I couldn't find it on my computer. I'm pretty sure I know I've trained on it before, so I was going to ask if you or Anna has it, and we'll definitely get it to you all because I couldn't find it on my computer. And then the guide to accessorizing the working woman. I honestly have no idea where I found this. I came across it a couple of weeks ago, and it was so good. And so I saved it, knowing that this was coming up, but like I said, I cannot remember whose website this came from, so I can't give credit where credit's due. It's kind of a long document, but there's a lot of good information. It talks about the working woman, so like the professional who works in the corporate world. You're going to be talking to women at your shows that work in the corporate world, so you want to make sure you're reaching every group of women, the stay-at-home moms, the working moms, that sort of thing. But there's some really great stuff in there, some really good tips. Pick a couple of tips out, hone it in for that working woman, and just kind of bring that up. And that person's going to perk up when they hear that you're referring specifically to them. The next thing, read fashion magazines. In Style is a great fashion magazine. I don't condone everything that's in it. However, there's a lot of really great information in there. It's a subscription you get every month, so I asked for it for my birthday one year just because it was helpful, and so I just get it renewed for, I think it was my husband that got it for me, so every year I say, hey, can you just renew that for me? I use it for my fashion stuff for Premiere. So like we all know that the color of the year is Marsala, so this was in the January edition talking about the color of the year, Marsala. And there's a little bit of information about what color that exactly is. Nicole is wearing the exact color, so thanks for wondering. But there's just a couple like accessories that you can see. They have like a dress there, different things that go with it. And they usually give some tips on what to wear it with. Like Marsala looks great with this color. So those are the kind of things that I take those little notes. In my script, I have one sheet of paper that consistently changes, and it's just scribble scratch. And it's stuff like that, like Marsala looks great with this color. Because I'll tell them Marsala is the color of the year, and it looks great with this and this and this. So that's something. Every year, In Style puts this in one of the early spring editions. I think this was, it was in April, so it was just this month's edition. It talks about the colors of the year. You've probably seen the Pantone colors. I think there's about 12 of them that are the top spring and summer colors. And it goes through every single color, so strawberry ice, and it tells tells you what colors you're supposed to pair it with, and like the common problems that you have with that color, so don't do this with this color. And then it talks about how popular was it on the fashion shows that they have, like New York and Paris and stuff, and different things that they saw the trends with it. So just look through this really quick. It's something I'll pull out of the catalog and I'll staple it, put it in my notes, write a couple notes on it, read through it. But it goes through all the different colors in the Pantone's color of the year for the spring and summer. And then these are just some other things. This one, gingham, is a really popular trend right now. And so it talks about how do you pull it off on the backside. Because honestly, that's not really my style. But I could get away with having like a clutch with it. That's something I could do. So I just really like that they show the different things. Black and white, of course, is always trendy this time of year. The geometric and graphic print is also very popular. So they talk about putting that together, putting basically the black and white and the geometric prints together, and how you really doing that. I saw this in there, immediately thought of our fringe necklace, because fringe is very popular right now. This is a bunch of different necklaces, not our stuff, but that's very popular. And so I grabbed this and pulled it out really quick, and just to remind myself, hey, fringe necklace would be a great piece to show. Honestly, I don't have the fringe necklace, so I don't even bring that trend up right now, but if you have the fringe necklace, there you go. This is another article just about the current trends. I don't really have any specific notes on that. A couple other just real quick things. In the catalog, they have some great tips, like just basic jewelry. They have clothing tips, fashion tips, makeup tips, all sorts of things. Obviously, I gravitate more towards the jewelry. But this was a question that was sent in by a reader. I'm on the hunt for a pair of everyday earrings, but I'm not sure which style works best. What should I do? That's a question I get asked all the time in jewelry show. So I immediately circled that and ripped it out of my magazine. Basically, they were just saying go with something that's not too flashy, because if you wear the same pair of flashy earrings every day, people are going to notice that. It's going to be like wearing, a bright red shirt every single day. People are going to really catch their eye. So if you need an everyday go-to, like a mommy pair of earrings, go with something a little more simple. And so then I would say, Julia are my everyday pair of earrings, because that's a simple piece of jewelry. Versus, like my Darcy earrings are probably a little bit more dressed up, a little bit flashier. Those are more reserved for like Sunday, going on a date night, going out kind of thing. So they're not referring to our jewelry, but the tip was very helpful for me in relation to my home show. Those next two articles I just circled, and you can look at what I circled. Specifically, they were talking about different jewelry trends, and I was like, oh, we have this piece of jewelry that would go with that trend. They talked about layered necklaces that have multi-layers. I immediately thought of Jolie. I have Jolie, so I was like, all right, I'm going to start talking about Jolie. And actually, they refer to Stella and Dot's necklace in there, which is like $80, and ours is half that. And I think ours is prettier. So in style, I love the magazine. You can go to Barnes & Noble and just read in style, right? You don't have to buy it. There you go. So that would be...
Take pictures of it on your phone.
Genius. But anyway, out of In Style, I get color pairings for every season. I learn how to wear the trends, learn what the trends are. Wording for my home sew script is in there. Simple tips that you can pass on to your customers in conversation. That's the kind of thing I gleaned from In Style. Like I said, there are some things in there that aren't appropriate, but I'm just warning you. So just wanted to know. Okay, of course, rally and training is the number one, probably best resource. At National Rally, they always share all the fashion stuff, and they usually have experts that come and talk to us about it. And of course, those of you that can't go, don't panic. We will bring that and share that with you as well. Do some window shopping. If you have an afternoon free, go and walk through some stores like Macy's and the mall and places like that, and just look specifically at what colors you're noticing the most of. Right now, I'm noticing a ton of blue, and there's some other colors as well. But notice that, because that's when if you say to them, right now, if you go into any store, you're going to see a ton of blue. And some ladies are like, oh, really? And other people are like, oh, yeah, definitely, it's everywhere. So you sound knowledgeable. So I love to just go into stores, and before I would just walk right to where I was going. Now I look all around me. What kind of prints are popular, what colors are popular, and then take my time of that. Of course, learn Pantone's colors. Pantone puts out their list of, the colors of the year every year on their website. You could probably just Google it. But it changes. The spring and summer has a set of colors. The fall and winter has a set of colors. So just refer to that. I actually did print off the colors. This was something I found on the Jewelry Only Facebook page, and so I just printed it out. This is something I show at my shows. So I talk about the colors of the year, and then I show this off. So I have this on my phone, but you can print it from your phone. So I'll pass this around. If you want that, you just need to text me. Don't email me about that. Text me about that, and I'll text it back to you.
Those are colors that were in the magazine,
Yeah. This is another one that a jeweler put together. It's Pantone's colors. It's obviously really small. You could probably print it much larger. I just didn't really know how. But like printing it off somewhere, like Kinko's might be nice. But it has the different colors, and then they put a piece of jewelry with each of those colors that were in the magazine. So this is something I posted on Facebook actually. So if you want this as well, you need to text me for this, and I'll text it back to you. But it goes through a different color and then a piece of jewelry that matches that color. Because you want to make sure you're expressing to your customers that they don't need to go and buy a whole new wardrobe. They need to accessorize with the trendy colors. What's in their wardrobe is fine. They just need to pick up some new accessories, and that's what's going to make them look more on trend. Then the next thing, make sure you're using resources from Premier. Premier offers us some great resources. If you have the website, you have access to the trend guide, and so I had it printed and laminated, so it was something I could show at shows. Especially if you don't have a lot of jewelry, this would be a great thing to talk about, because it mentions immediately one of the trends, which is classics with a twist, and it gives some pieces that go with it. It also shows the popular colors, there as well. There's your marsala down there at the bottom, purple, so the blues are the popular colors. So this is something you could lay on your table, something you could pass around, you could talk about, that sort of thing. Premier also provides us with a style guide. They give you one, you could go to Rally, and then of course you could buy a pack of 50, I think it's like $3 or $4. You could hand it out at your show. You could just use the one that you have and kind of look at some of the trends. So this is a great resource Premier provides for us every year. They provide one in the spring and they provide one in the fall. Okay. So how do you share the fashion at your show? So now that you've done all the research and you know all about fashion, how do you share it at your shows? Just a quick note, most women say they don't wear jewelry for a couple reasons. Because they don't know how to wear it, because they think they don't have time to put it on, or because they think they don't have time to learn how to do it. Well, guess what? They're at your jewelry show, so they're learning how to do it tonight. So that takes excuse number one away. They think they don't have time to put it on. You need to take that excuse away as well at your jewelry show, because you need to show how easy it is to throw a necklace on and look more complete. If I took all my jewelry off right now, I would look a little bit more bumpy. Okay? And doing that at your show is actually a great tip. If you take all your jewelry off and show them this is the before and after, it really because they don't know how to wear it. Well, they're at your show, so you can teach them that. You can take all of those excuses away at the jewelry show. So your job is to teach basic concepts that can be easily duplicated in as little time as possible. So you want to make sure what you're doing seems duplicable for them. Okay, so a couple ways. Your display table, which that's why I brought my stuff tonight, because I wanted you to see it. That is the first impression to them of how to wear the jewelry. At the end, if you want to go back and look over there, each of my trays have different colors inside the tray. I bought those different inserts on the Incentives website, but all you need to do is get a scrap of fabric from, maybe scraps that you have at home, or somebody that you know that likes to sew and they might have scraps. Get some scraps of some of the trendy colors. Make sure it's a solid color. It's a lot easier with a solid color. And just wrap the black, tray liner that you already have in that color. So I have several different colors over there, and I just match the jewelry with the colors. And I pick colors that are trendy, and I let them see taking that jewelry and putting it with a trendy color. And I even have colors over there that are not on the Pantone list of colors, because I want them to see if you have a color in your wardrobe that's not on the list, that's okay. You just get a fashionable piece of jewelry and now you look on trend. You can layer your table. If you don't have a tablecloth, or you do have a tablecloth and you want to add a little bit of pop of color, go through your closet and grab some scarves. So I grabbed some scarves that were trendy. Here's your marsala. You could put this underneath a a piece of jewelry, and they can see then how it goes together. Here's like our sea breeze color, which is very popular, and then this has a little bit of floral print. So just grab that and layer that on your table, and they can see then taking those prints and those colors and how it works well. Helping them to put things together that might be in their closet is it's a huge help to you. It'll make your retail go up a little bit. Okay, I already talked about the tray inserts. Also, the trendy colors page that I showed you, that would be a great document to frame on your table. I like to occasionally do that. I have random frames around my house that I'm not using, so I just stick it in a frame, put it on my table, and they're seeing it right there as well. Okay, during your presentation, show off those trendy colors. So print a flyer like you already saw. This was a new one. I was randomly walking through Lowe's, and they now have a line of paint. I don't know how long it will last, or if it will always last. This was last year's. I have not even gotten this year's yet, of the Pantone colors of the season. So go to Lowe's and grab all the swatches, the colors, and show those off. Pass them around, then they can see the colors. Radiant Orchid was the color of the year last year. So like I said, I haven't been there yet this year, but this is a free way to show off the colors. So this would be something really fun to like pass around, or to grab a piece of jewelry and be like, look how great it looks with this color. And then cut out a picture of a fashion magazine. If you do get a fashion magazine and they have the colors of the year, frame that, put that on your display table, or pass it around just like I did tonight. Style guides, having those handy, having those to be able for your guests is a great incentive. If you want to do that, creating a red stamp or a kit collage with the tips that you share at your show. Maybe you could say something like, on your guest survey, if you would like a picture of these colors of the year, or I have my top 5 tips and a kit collage. I will text that to you after the show. Just put on your guest survey, yes, send me that picture. Or make that a checkbox option. That might be something going a little above and beyond, because they're not sitting there taking notes at your home show. They're going to forget what you're saying. But if you send them that cute little text, then like you're in their phone, like they have your name or your phone number in your phone, and you're sending that to them. So it's a nice little gesture. I got that from Julie David.
I have to crash. I have $2.
Number 5, teach your guests about the fashion personalities and use our collection to demonstrate the pieces that fit each personality. So, let me grab my fashion personality. This is in the document that I sent you all, or the email that I sent you guys. There are different fashion personalities. There's 4. I also put in that email pictures that goes with each one. So if you want to print those off and show them as you're talking about them, that would be a great. And I've had those, I think, since I've been in the beginning. Like I've had that for, I have no idea where it came from. But there's 4 different fashion personalities. Just like we talked about, there's 4 different personalities. Everyone has a different fashion personality. There's natural, casual, the romantic, the classic, and the dramatic. So what I usually do if I'm doing fashion personalities at my home show, I will read the description, and I literally just read it, and then I say, so, who's a natural person? And then a couple people raise their hand, and I go over to my mannequin, and I show a couple pieces that fit that personality. And if you're not exactly sure what pieces go with the personality, let us know. We'll help you do that. When at first I was like, I don't know what pieces go with what. Somebody needs to tell me. But as I got more comfortable with the personalities and understanding them, I was able to pick out immediately, this goes with this goes with this. So this is a great way to show off your jewelry as well. In the style quiz, if you have access to, if you have a website, they have the style quizzes that you can download if you pay for the website, the $9.95 a month. I have them printed off and I laminate them, and I'll pass these out at the beginning of my show and have everyone take the quiz. It's just 4 questions. And then the answers is also on the website. So if you answered mostly A, your casual personality, mostly B, your classic personality. So it goes through the same fashion personality. It's just another way to do it. If you don't have the website, don't worry. You can do a simple Google search and you'll come up with something very similar. Keep it very simple though. Like this is just 4 questions and it's a multiple choice, so it's very easy. It's also helpful if you can pass one out to everyone at like 20 of these, so that everyone can be looking at it, not repeating all the options over and over again. Also on the website, we got this in an email like a couple months ago. So if you deleted that email, you can go back to your messages you can look this back up. And it talks about the different types of necklines and what types of jewelry look with that, go with that neckline. And they have specifically our jewelry there. So that would be another great thing to talk about potentially at your jewelry shows. And, okay, so then I summed up real quick the spring and summer trends. I did bring some stuff out of my closet, and I wanted to show you some of the things that are kind of trendy, kind of not, and how you can still make it work. So here's your gingham. So this would be things you could put on your mannequin and then show different pieces of jewelry with it. You have your florals. I had a couple florals. Now, orange is not exactly one of the colors of the season, but floral is. So then I might have put a piece of jewelry with this. That's more kind of the trendy look. Also with this one, this is a floral print, but red is not on the colors, but that's okay. That's what I want them to see, is that it's okay. It's not necessarily part of the colors. I just put a piece of jewelry, like, I usually wear this necklace with it. Gold is trendy, so that it works. So it looks trendy. Denim is super popular right now. Denim jackets, denim shirts, denim jeans. Denim shirt. I had a jeweler who always wore a denim shirt to all of her shows, and she wore her long opening night pearls with it. It looked so, it was adorable, but she was casual, but she looked great. So dressing it up with our jewelry is a great way to go. What else is popular? Blue, okay, any color blue right now really is good to go. I'll put a white tank top on my mannequin and then put this over it. It's a really light jacket, really light blazer, so it's perfect for summer, especially if you work in an office where it's cold, or you're going on a date night late, you need to get cool as well. But unless during the day you're really hot, so you can take it off and you have a white tank underneath. So it's a simple white tank, but then when I put this on, it looks very dressed up. So I'm able to go back and forth very easily from the more casual to the more dressy look. But this is blue, so it's on trend, adding that pop of color. Of course, this is a very trendy blue right now as well. Black and white. I picked this one because it had the geometric prints. The graphic prints is really popular. You're seeing a lot of circles also in our jewelry, not just our jewelry, but in just a lot of prints. So full circle, I think of specifically, but anything that has a lot of circles on it, very trendy. Here's your black and white. Last year, you saw a lot of nautical theme in your clothing. That's when I got this. Well, you don't see that as much right now, but it's still black and white, so it's going to be classic. Now I'm just going to dress it up with more of a up-to-date piece of jewelry. Lace is popular. I noticed that on her shirt tonight, so she's there on trend. Your fringe is popular. The geometric and graphic print, which I already talked about. The beachy vibe, I haven't even seen that a lot in the decorating stuff, everywhere. And on pillows, on comforters, on blankets, you see that, beachy vibe look. Marcel is a color of the year. Gray is your neutral. Oh, I brought this because this is a geometric print. There's a lot of interesting print on here. This isn't exactly one of the colors on the list, but I wore this with Jolie because it kind of has that diamond-y look and it goes well. And Jolie has that fluorescent color, so it pops with this as well. So it doesn't have to be, your clothes don't have to be trendy, just your accessories. Okay, any questions about any of that?